going to flip over. At speed, it doesn't feel like that. At speed, everything's...
Oh, and around we've got cars on the track. Already involved is Kyle Busch. The 16 of Greg Biffle's involved. Looks like Denny Hamlin in the 11. And this is exactly what you didn't want to see as a crew chief, Steve. Cars getting torn up. These are their primary cars.
Yeah, I mean, you're kicking yourself now if you're in this crash. Did you really need to be out there? I mean, Kyle Busch coming off his win at Sonoma, gets back to Daytona, involved in an accident early. You see Jamie McMurray. You see Kyle Busch's car here, heavily damaged. I mean, that's definitely going to the backup.
Yeah, there's a lot of backups that we're going to be seeing now after this incident. This is exactly what you both were talking about. Running so close in a race, you would get even closer, but obviously someone got too close.
Well, it's the negative. You know, it's plate racing. It's what we see every time we come here. But again, if you want to be good in the race, you have to practice it.
It's just a classic case. You see that the 18 and the 2 were running nose to tail. The 18 moved up. The 2 got down. The 18 kind of came across his front bumper. And once he spins, everyone's in a pack. There's 25 cars in a pack. There's nowhere for the 9, for the 11, for the 16, anywhere for those guys to go.
Cars got collected in this. Martin Truex Jr. in the 78 up against the wall.
Jeff Gordon with a good move.
24 of Gordon stayed right down by the double yellow line, was able to avoid it.
Sam Hornish, he comes in here. He's, nothing he can do. I mean, there's nothing he could have done different right there.
Yeah, the 18 came down the track. Sam Hornish collects him. Jamie McMurray in the 1 also involved. Martin Truex Jr. landed the wall pretty hard before he got into the 18 as well. But it started with the 18 and the 2. The 2 just behind that 18.
And that's the tough part. You're running into such close.
10 laps of racing to go. And around goes the pack in the middle. Darrell Wallace Jr. gets caught up. The big one happens just as they go through the tri-oval. Back up into the wall hard, Brendan Poole. Eric Almirola caught up in this in the 98. The caution comes out.
Pointing here, guys.
Good to see that window net coming down. He had a hard hit, head-on impact. That was a big hit.
Let's take another look at how it happened.
See Brendan Gaughan in the middle there. Ryan Reed gets hit by the 3 car, pushes him into Brendan Gaughan, and then it's on from there.
Daniel Suarez caught up in this as well. Regan Smith.
Look at the job right there. Casey Kane in the 88 gets on the brakes. The crash happens, gets off the brakes, back on the gas to drive out of it. So you see right here, the 3 is pushing the 16, trying to help him. He doesn't want to spin this car out. He's trying to help him, push him towards the front. He gets a little to the right rear, causing the 16 to turn left. It hits the 62, which picks up the 6. And then as they come back up the racetrack, there's nowhere for these guys to go.
Riding along with Darrell Wallace Jr.
Go right here. Down.
I just got made a Roush sandwich. You know, the 6 have been struggling to hold a pretty wheel, and he came up a little bit, but somebody told me that the 16, I guess, got turned or got hit and pushed and turned. I'm not really sure. I just know I was in between. Both Roush 4s came across me, and South Point Chevy was a victim, and that's our restrictor plate racing this year.
I'm used to it. I think I just said I was 3 for 9 on these type of races, so it just sucks. I hate doing these races. It's back to last year at Talladega. I don't need to see anything. I just got wrecked. I usually never cause them. I'm always a product of the wrong time. So Cheez-It Ford Mustang was fast, but just wasn't our day.
Elliott Sadler trying to keep the momentum up.
Brian Scott's in his mirror just looking.
And now up against the wall. He gets into the wall. Brian Scott trying to block into the wall. He goes. The caution comes out again. Brian Scott doing what you said, trying to slow the momentum down, did it too late. There's the damage to the 2. Led 84 laps.
Trying to roll back from pit road. We're tore up pretty good right side.
See Brian Scott on the bottom, Elliott Sadler on the outside. Elliott's getting a big push. Brian tries to go in front and block, and Elliott's already there. He did what he needed to do. He just did it too late. The move was made too late to try to put the block on. Once they get that far up, you just got to hold your spot and take your punishment.
You see here, there's a big run coming, and the move, it's just, there's nothing he can do. Elliott Sadler is clearly there all the way up to his quarter panel, and when he turns in front of the field, you can see all the debris fly.
And around they go. The 38 goes sideways. David Gilliland sideways as they come out of turn number 4. Also involved, the 22 of Logano. The 32. Multiple cars involved in this one. Joey Logano damage to the right rear. The 26 of Jeb Burton involved. Saw the 38 of Gilliland. The 10 of Danica Patrick. Looks like she has damage to the right side.
The field out of 2. Litter's bad. 10 away.
Sheet metal about to fall off the 22. Also some damage on the 46 of Michael Annette. Let's look back to what had just happened. Coming out of turn number 4.
You see right here, the 38's coming down to change lanes. There isn't room. He comes across the front bumper of the 15, spins him to the bottom, and it's the field very tight. You see farther back into the field, the 16 and the 10 get to the back, and the 22 spinners up across the track. And that's what happens in these tight packs. When there's a spin way up in front of the pack, everyone gets out of the gas, and it's so hard when you're only a couple feet apart. Another hard impact there with the 32 and the 38. When you're that close, you don't have enough room. If you don't slow down the exact same rate, someone gets spun out.
And you see right here, David, he's one to be on the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to get behind the 88 because he thinks that's the best line, but he just doesn't have it synced up. He did not get a good view of the 15, turned down on the 15s. Nothing Clint Boyer could do right there. All he could do is get into him, and then everything behind him was just as a result of trying to miss this wreck.
Carl Edwards, a wild ride coming out of turn number 4. He gets it going straight once again. He was running in the 13th position. It looks like a one-car incident. The yellow flag has come out. But a crazy ride for Carl Edwards as he exited turn number 4. Let's take a look at how this happened.
You can see him, he just got loose all by himself, and now he's got it locked down. He's on all that asphalt. You know, we talked about getting grass out of racetracks. That's why right there he was able to keep control. He did make a little bit of contact. You can see the rear quarter panel bent, but not nearly as bad as it would have been with the grass down there.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, you see him right here, kind of 3 wide, almost 3 wide outside the 20, and you see he starts correcting it. He just loses rear grip. It gets really, really loose. He's locked it down. He's trying to spot the wall, trying to spot where he's going, and he does a great job. You see this tire start to roll again. He gets off the brakes, starts to drive the car. This onboard is going to have a great shot of it. You're going to see here and listen.
3 wide right here. Now just easy, easy.
He does a great job. You hear him right before he spins. He starts to breathe it. He knows he's in trouble. And then as he starts to lose it, he gets out of it. He gets it locked up.
Oop. Oh, we got a crash.
Crash. Big. Well, yeah, it started to get big.
Oh, it's big now.
It got big.
Another big one in turns 1 and 2 at Daytona. You look at Brian Scott in the 33. Fire underneath that car. He'll have to come to a stop. Fire extinguishers putting that out inside of the car. Involved in this, the 19 of Carl Edwards. It might have been the 33 of Brian Scott that got up underneath him.
I think they were approaching a lap car getting into turn 1. Let's see, and that caused some issues.
A lot of smoke inside that car for Brian Scott. Safety crew to him quickly. And the window net down, always a good indicator. You see the head being shaken by Carl Edwards. He cannot believe the bad luck that he has already had tonight.
Guys, we tried real hard there. That was, I don't know what else to do. We made the deal. We're just going to race. If we could have sat in the back, that is what we raced.
There, you heard him. He thought he was in the back of the pack and out of the possibility of danger. Take a look at what happens. The 42 of Kyle Larson completely sideways.
He gets down to the apron. You see the sparks where the track bar mount hits the ground. He saves it, but he comes up the track, has no choice but to connect with the 19, who then starts to spin. Brad Keselowski gets a face full of sparks. The 17 does go around, and now the track is blocked. Now these guys are trying to find a hole through, and the 2 gets woed up, and the 3 kind of gets woed up, but then you see Carl Edwards goes back up the track, and here comes Brian Scott with a full head of steam, makes big contact with the back of the 19.
You can follow Miss Sprint Cup as the big one's happening once again, coming out of turn number 4. Into the wall, Kyle Larson. Multiple cars sideways. Martin Truex Jr., a lot of damage to the front end of his car. Eric Almirola also involved. There's Kyle Larson, damage to the front end. Once again, coming out of turn number 4, a tricky spot on this track. Casey Kane, who was running up front all day, a lot of damage to the right front. Eric Almirola, already in the garage. The Smithfield Ford had been running well. And now in the garage, Kyle Larson will have to make his way into the garage as well. This is why.
We've seen this time and time again. The 20 tries to come down on the 5. I don't know if he actually makes contact with the 5 or just the air gets him loose. Man, and then it's just a mess, right? When you have trouble in front of that many cars, there's just nowhere to go. You see the 9 spinning, trying to avoid it. Once the smoke is that thick, there's just nowhere to go.
All these cars behind them right now, they're just trying to find somewhere to go, but there just never is. You just keep piling in. You're on the brakes. The guys behind you are running into you. You know, it's just a big. This is plate racing. This is what we talk about. This is what the drivers fear.
Right along with Tony Stewart.
Step in here, back it down. Come down low, come down low, come down low, all the way down, all the way down. Come on down, come on down, come on down. Stay right there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. Watch out now.
The vision of these drivers amazed me. It almost sounded like he was out of the gas before we even saw sparks. Like he knew this was not going to work.
You can see Matt Kenseth, he never got touched by Casey Kane. He tried to fill that spot. The air got taken off the back of the car, got loose, around he went, caused a big wreck.
There's that air cushion that Martin Truex Jr. was mentioning earlier. They didn't actually make contact, but around went the 20.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the bottom of the track. Jr. will win at Daytona. And the big one happens behind them.
Oh my God.
Of Austin Dillon into the catch fence. All the crews getting out to that car to assist these drivers. Thumbs going up from all the crew members, and the crowd roars. Look at the catch fence on the front straight. Crew members pulling. Austin Dillon out, he's walking. The damage to the 4 of Kevin Harvick. What an incredible sight to see Austin Dillon walking away from that 3 car that is demolished.
Yeah, the 11 gets kind of stuck in the middle there and comes across the 4's bumper. As he does, he spins back in, gets the 3 airborne, and he just gets projected off the other cars right up into the fence.
He went from the bottom of the racetrack over 2 rows of cars and into that catch fence.
Here we go. You can see him on the bottom. Rex starts in front. He runs in the back of the 24. Gets up on the 11. Now he's on top of the 50.5. And now it's just along for the ride. Watch the car stop. Watch the car stop. It gets into those poles, and it goes from, I don't know what, 180, 190 miles an hour, I'm just guessing, to a complete stop. That is unbelievable.
And it looks like that's 3,500 pounds. That stock car is extremely heavy. You see here, after he's upside down, the 2 is spinning. Obviously, he's already lost control, makes more contact with the 3.
11 and the 4 to get together. Here we are at the start-finish line.
It just pushes the 3 up into the air enough that it rolls over the top of a car. And then that momentum just continues to move him into the catch fence. Hang on. This will be a wild ride. That was Tony Stewart going underneath the 3. And here was the response from Austin Dillon. After he got out, pulled the helmet off. The crowd was roaring at this point in time.
Yeah, this has to be the best sight of the night. You know, this is the scary part of auto racing is when you see a big accident, you see Austin Dillon get out. He's removing, what he's removing there is his head and neck restraint. It connects to his helmet to keep his helmet from overextending somewhere. A Hans device, that's another version of it. Another safety innovation really that's been required in NASCAR for a few years now.